Good morning. This is, excuse me, this is pre-algebra for Wednesday, April 1st. So this is no April Fools, it is real class. So, okay, let's get started. Today we're gonna continue on lesson 78. I need you to take out your homework and let's look at your answers. The first thing I wanna do is give you the answers to yesterday's assignment. You did them online. You have your papers there as well. And I've already got your grades, but I want you to understand what your answers were. Number one was 240,000. Of course, we worked that out yesterday in class. Number two was 2,090. Number three was 5 hours. And all of those we worked out in class. Number four, the answer was $3. Number five, we did in class. Number six, we did in class. Number seven was 400 for letter A. Letter B was 120. And letter C was 30%. Number eight, the answer was 496. Number nine was 20%. Number 10 was 47 over 100 and 0.47. Now, I want us to look at, it's going to be problem number 11 in your book. I wrote it on the board. We have 1.03 times 10 to the 10th power. Now, normally Mrs. Turner gives you this big number or this very tiny number and says, change this to scientific notation. Today I'm giving you the scientific notation and I want you to take it back to the standard form. The standard form is simply the way we write. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my chalk. There it is. All right, now I'm taking this back to a normal number. That means I need to move my decimal point how many places? 10. Okay, so am I going to move this to the left, or to the right? Well, I'm going to move it to the right. Okay, so I'm going to write 1, 0, 3, and I'm just going to write several zeros, and we'll take off what I don't need. Okay, so I started between the 1 and the 0 right here, and I need to move 10 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put my commas in every third place. There's my standard number. The next problem tells us, do these with me. Don't just watch me do them. Don't just kind of haphazardly watch them because this is going to be on your test. I'm going to turn that a little bit so you can see it better. 2 1/4 of what number is 5 3/8? Well, we know that the word is means what? It means equals. So we're going to go back to our pattern, okay? We have the fraction 2 1/4 of means 2 multiply what number? Well, we got an n equals 5 3/8. All I did was take that sentence and put it into math. Now, let's change this. Let's change our mixed numbers to improper. 2 times 4 plus 1 is 9 over 4n equals 5 times 8 is 40 plus 3 is 43. Now, let's get rid of this 9/4. How are we going to do that? It says to multiply, so we're going to divide. When you divide with a fraction, you use the reciprocal. So, we're going to write the reciprocal because whatever we do on the left, we must do on the right. This all cancels, leaving us n. Over here, what can I cancel? Well, my 4 becomes a 1. My 8 becomes a 2. Can I cancel anything else? I cannot. So 43 times 1 is 43. 2 times 9 is 18. And my answer is 43/18. Look at the next problem. It says, what is the surface area of a rectangular solid whose length is 10 feet and whose width is 5 feet and height is 2 feet? Now let's think about what that means. Surface area means I want to wrap it all up like a Christmas present. I've got to cover all of the edges. In order to cover all of the edges, I have to find the area of each of those areas. So first, on number 14, what is our shape? Our shape is a rectangle. Since it's a rectangle, we're going to look at the two ends are going to be the same, the top and the bottom, and the front and the back. They're all going to be the same. Those pairs are going to be the same. So let's start with how we're going to find this. Surface area, I'm going to erase this a little bit just so we don't collide. Surface area is 2 times the area of, let's start with the top. The top and the bottom are going to be the same. So I'm going to say 2 times the area of the top. That's going to be one of it. Okay? The second thing that we're going to do, I'm going to look at the way they do it in the order, front and the back. That's what I thought. We're going to do the front and the back of the box, okay? So again, we're going to say 2 times the area of the front. Why? Because the front of the box and the back of the box are the same size. So when I find the area of the front, I'm automatically finding the area of the back. Okay? So now we've got the top and the bottom, the front and the back. Now we have to do the two ends. So we're going to say plus 2 times the area of the ends. Now let's think. If this is a rectangle, what shape is the top? Well, it's a rectangle. So we're going to say 2 times length times width. That's how I'm going to find the area of that. Okay? For the front, I'm going to say 2 times length times width. And the area of the end will be 2 times length times width. Now, all of this together goes to give me my surface area. Okay? So let's look at our drawing. Okay? If we're going to say the top, the length and the width of the top, it says in our story problem, the surface area of the rectangular solid whose length is 10 feet, so the length is 10, and the width is 5, and it's 2 feet tall. So for my length and width, I'm going to say the surface area equals 2 times 10 times 5. That's going to be the top and the bottom. Now what about the length and the width of the front? Okay, it's going to be 2 times 5 times 2, plus we have the sides or the ends, and we're going to say 2 times 10 times 2. Mrs. Turner, where did that 2 come from? Well, if you go back to the story problem, it says it's 2 feet high. So these are the fronts and the back of it. Let me grab a book here. Let's say we're trying to find the surface area of this. Okay, the length and the width are going to tell me the top and the bottom. But the front and the back, I have to know how tall it is, okay, and how long it is. So that's where I got the 2 times 5 times 2. Now, what about the ends? That's over here on the edge. Okay, there's 2 of them. That's why we have the first 2. Then we said, oh, it's 10, but it's too tall. Okay, so that's where we got those numbers. Let's go back and look at our problem again then. Okay, so now we're going to simply multiply all of this out. So we're going to say 2 times 10 is 20, and we have 20 times 5, which is 100. So this is 100 square feet. Okay, the next one is 2 times 5, which is 10, and 10 times 2 is 20 square feet. The last one is 2 times 10, which is 20. 20 times 2 is 40 square feet. Now, all I need to do is add them up. 100 plus 20 plus 40 is going to give me 160 square feet. 160 square feet. Now, why is it square? Because we're looking for area, okay? Look at number 15 in your book. Find the volume of this right circular cylinder. The dimensions are in feet, okay? So let's think about this. We're going to find, first of all, what shape are we using? We're using a cylinder, okay? A cylinder I have one right here for us to look at. This is our cylinder. A cylinder is a round tube, okay? So I have a round tube or a cylinder, a jar, and I want to know what the volume, what will this thing hold in cubic feet, okay? Now, this is not obviously cubic feet. Cubic feet, something you would measure actually in cubic feet would be more like a gas tank, like at a manufacturer, at petroleums. The oil tanker that you might see, an 18-wheeler driving a big tanker of gas going to a gas station, those are going to be measured that way, okay? Now, but we're going to use this just the same, okay? We're looking for volume. So when you're looking for volume, how do you find that? Well, volume equals, hopefully you know this, it is area of the base times the height. So, how do I find the area of the base? In other words, the area of the bottom. How big is this bottom? Because obviously if this bottom is smaller than the one that's this big, this is going to hold more simply because of the size, okay? So, how do I find the volume? Okay, it tells us in our story problem on number 15, if you look at your picture, that the radius is 10. The radius is 10. So how am I going to find this? I'm going to say pi times radius squared. Once that's done, then I'm going to multiply it by the height. Okay, so let's say that again. In order to find the area of a cylinder, you say pi times radius squared. So in this case, because we're looking for the volume, find your area, then multiply by the height. Let's go look at it again. Our radius is 10. So we have 3.14 times 10 squared. We're going to do that. Then we're going to multiply by the height. Well, let's go ahead and put the height in there. I'll erase that. The height of this is also, the dimensions, it's also 10, okay? Now, so this is 10 feet, and this is 10 feet, okay? Now, we're going to say the volume is 3.14 times 10 squared. 10 times 10 is 100. 100 feet here, okay? Bring this 10 feet down. 3.14 times 100, all I'm going to do is move my decimal over 2 places, and I'm going to say that it's 314. What is this? This is the area of the base. So now I'm at square feet. I have square feet. Now I'm going to multiply this by 10 feet. So again, when you're multiplying by a power of 10, all you're really doing is moving over your decimal point. So it's 1,040, what? 3,140 cubic feet. That's how we find number 15. Look at number 16. Find the least common multiple between 10, 12, and 18. Okay? It's been a while since we've actually done one of these. So let's say if you have 10, it goes into 5, so it is 2 times 5. That is the prime factorization of 10. What if you have the prime factorization of 12? Take it into 2, divide that by 2 again, you get 3. So 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. And then our last number in the book was 18. So we're going to say divide that by 2 and get 9. Divide 9 by 3 and get 3. So our 18 is going to be 2 times 3 times 3. And it says that we are looking for the least common multiple. As a reminder, when you're looking for the least common multiple, you list every type of factor. You have a contest to see which one of these has the most, and that's how many you write down. After you've done all the factors, then you multiply. So our first one is the number 2. Well, there's 1, 2 here, there's 2, and there's 1. So I'm going to write down 2. Okay, the next factor I have is a 3. There's 0 3s, 1 3, and 2 3s. So So I'm gonna write 2 3s because that is the most. And there's only 1 5, so we'll write 1 5. Okay, now we simply multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36. And 36 times 5 is 180. So the least common multiple is 180. Okay? Let's look at your next problem. I haven't done one of these with you in a little while, so I would like to do one today to make sure everybody's understanding these. Okay, let me grab my paper here. Number 17 is the one we're going to look at. We have 1 2/3 over 6 3/4. That equals 3/4 over x. First thing we're going to do is find out what our equation is. Okay, so we're going to multiply. We're going to multiply and say 1 2/3 times x. So we have 1 2/3 x equals 6 3/4 times 3/4. Now that I have my problem written, it's very simple to solve. Change everything to an improper fraction. 3 times 1 plus 2 is 5. So 5/3 x equals 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27. So 27 over 4 times 3 over 4. Now, I need to get rid of this. So Mrs. Turner, don't you have to get rid of that first? I don't. I can leave it there because, now I can solve this and bring it down. But since it's going to be multiplying again, I can multiply all 3 fractions at one time. Use the reciprocal to get rid of it on this side. Put the reciprocal over here. Now, can I reduce anything? Is there anything I can get rid of? I still can't, can I? All right, so now I have x, and I'm going to have to multiply this out. I'm going to have to say 27 times 3, and I'm going to multiply that by 5. All right? So when you multiply everything out, you're going to get 280. And then we have to do the bottom. We have to say 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 5 is going to give us 80. Okay? So our answer, that's not right, guys. That's wrong. I looked at the wrong answer on my book. Sorry about that. All right? When we multiply this out, we're going to get, because we're going to have, okay, yes, I'm sorry. We're going to get 243. We multiply. I just looked at the wrong problem, so I didn't multiply it right. We're going to get 243 and still over 80. So it's going to be 243 over 80 equals x. Let's look at what we did. All we did was look at the equation and take the top number times the bottom. We cross-multiplied. The same thing on this side. Brought our problem down. Changed everything to improper fractions. And then we can multiply here, or we can cancel out and use our reciprocal either way. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's try, you know what? I'm going to run out of time on this class. So here's what I'm going to have you do. I have given you some homework. It's just finishing this lesson, lesson 78. We are going to take a test. So I'm going to give you a test to take on tomorrow, I believe it is. So if you have any questions at the end of this lesson, please email me or text me, shoot me a picture. Lots of you have been doing that, and I appreciate it. Helps me to help you, all right? So here's your homework today is to finish lesson 78, 11 through 16. So hopefully you did some of these with me because some of these are your homework. And all you got to do is put them on the online homework sheet and you're set to go. All right, so make sure that when Brother Francis comes by your house, You have everything ready to turn in to me. I don't care if you put it in a Walmart bag, if you put it in an envelope, you put it in a folder. If you put it in a folder and you put your name on it, I'll send that folder back with you to you next week when I send you more items, okay? If you're an area kid, please, anytime this week, come by the office and drop it off for us, okay? I miss you, and I hope you're having a good day.